Not as brave as you, but I'm okay. Man, Shark Fest 2024. The summer's jawsome event is back. And today I have ecologist Dr. Mike. How am I saying this? Heithaus? Heithaus.
I have, but I answered everything, usually Mike in a long pause, so it's all good.
Okay, good. Oh man, you talk about this, man. Shark. I was watching this on, and I was like, "There's no way I'm getting in that water and trying to feed a shark." How do you do that?
Well, luckily we're working with real professionals, and maybe you see people like Stefan there from the Bahamas. They're working with these animals every day, and we work with them a lot. So we're only going in situations where we know it's safe. But I'll tell you, in Sharks versus Ross Edgley, that was very high on the spooky meter when we got somewhat low visibility, lots of big tiger sharks swimming around. Your head's kind of on a swivel. But we've got safety divers, so we're able to do the work in the TV and bring that kind of excitement to viewers on SharkFest and be doing good research at the same time.
Speaking of research, talk about the difference between a bull shark and a tiger shark.
Okay, so bull sharks and tiger sharks are both big kind of top predators. Tiger sharks get quite a bit bigger. They can be 15 feet or longer. They got these big broad heads. They'll eat sea turtles. They'll go after dolphins. But they're an ocean animal. Like they like coral reefs and seagrass beds. Bull sharks, they're shorter, but they are really kind of built and big. So pound for pound, the bull shark is a pretty impressive predator, maybe get up toward 9 feet long, but they have a superpower in that they can go into fresh water. So, historically, one was caught all the way up almost to Illinois and the Mississippi, a couple thousand miles up at the Amazon, the Zambezi River in South Africa. So, that is another very impressive animal. And, they've got different teeth, and the gels people see us like using to get these bites have really shown us tiger sharks are rippers and tearers. Bull sharks are just like a cleaver. Wham! One bite and they're straight through their prey. So they may not eat a turtle, but big fish, other sharks, they don't want to run into a big bull shark.
Speaking of the research you talked about as far as biting between the two animals, talk a bit about the research you did in finding out who bit the young man that got bit surfing in Australia.
Yeah, so whenever we go into one of these bite situations, we're looking at a lot of different factors. I mean, one of the first things we do is kind of look at what the habitat is. If it's in fresher water, we pretty much know bull shark is about the only thing that's going to be there. But when we get into the coastal oceans, we have to look at things like what does the injury look like, because those teeth work so differently, and those gels we do show us like a bull shark bite's very clean, tiger sharks are ragged. And then, eyewitness accounts are important. I mean, how long was the shark? How big and broad was it? And you put all those things together, and a lot of times we can figure out what type of shark was responsible for these attacks. And then what we try to do in the shows as well is learn a little bit more about the sharks. What abilities do they have? Why were they there? But at the same time, we want people to remember that we hear about almost every shark attack that happens around the world, but they're actually very rare, and especially fatalities. It's like maybe 5 or 6 worldwide a year. So usually when you're going to the beach, things like rip currents, are actually more dangerous. But anytime you go in the ocean, you want to be aware of what's going on and respect the ocean. But a fear of sharks isn't something that should keep you out of the water in almost any place you go.
All right, one last question I got to ask, almost like going back to the movie Jaws. How did you get into sharks?
Well, movie Jaws terrified me. I became a very good swimmer because even in the deep end of the pool, I was swimming as fast as I could because my brain said, "Oh, there's a shark here." But then I was studying dolphins, and I noticed that a lot of them had bites on their bodies. And I was like, "Oh gosh, I got to learn about sharks." And then once I started working on these big tiger sharks, I mean, I was hooked. We knew so little about them, and so for the last 20 years, we've been trying to do work to show. And what we found is that they're actually really important to oceans. And if people tune into Disney Plus and Hulu, they can see some of our older shows on sharks versus dolphins that are kind of the genesis of my early footsteps into the shark world that haven't stopped and aren't going to stop.
Been speaking with ecologist Dr. Mike Heithaus. It's Shark Fest week, Hulu and Disney. Again, you're also Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and Education and professor in the Department of Biology Services at Florida International University. So here's one more question for you. I'm a student, freshman, and I'm getting ready to take a class. What can I expect?
Well, you can expect amazing professors here that do great work, and they're going to hear about all the cool research we're doing and you're seeing on SharkFest in their classes. But most importantly, we want to get those students out with us in the field so they can get their own research experience and launch their own careers.
I promise you, I will not be a student. Thank you so much.
Come on.
Thank you. I'm in St. Louis, man. No, Mississippi and Missouri. That's it for me, man. Been speaking with Dr. Mike Heithaus, talking about SharkFest on Hulu and Disney. Thank you again for joining us on Morning Blend and talking about those teeth, man.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
You too.